Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the Jezebelle Trinity podcast. And I am your host, Trinity Stella. And tonight, kind of following up on what was the topic for yesterday. Let me scratch the music. All right. So yesterday I thought that I would share a little bit about how um I want to say applied the seven grandfather teachings, but they're like seven principles into my life of healing. I like to say healing, because recovering from myself. But yesterday was humility. So there's humility, love. Now let's see if I can name them, test myself. Because I don't have them there to say this is what I'm due today. I just kind of it just kind of processes that way, how I apply it to my life. But there's humility, love, wisdom, truth, bravery, um, respect, and I'm always forgetting one. Uh, I will have to look that up. But tonight is love and how I apply love to my life, how I apply love, how it impacts my life now, and um, how it transformed me into a life of recovery. Because when you think of love, like humility, these things that these principles are kind of like viewed as weakness, love. And I'm not just speaking on love for others or love in relationships or love for um, things. It's like how do you how do you love yourself? How do you show love for others? How do you show love for your community? How um and let me see here. So like as far as showing love for yourself, um that was a hard one. How do you go from hating yourself to loving yourself? And it's a process and it takes practice. It starts with humility. In order to be humble, you have to be able to give yourself grace, to accept your mistakes, to accept that you're human. And when you are able to do that and be like, I messed up, or I was wrong, that's showing compassion for yourself. And it's a process. It's not like you have to do these certain things to love yourself. It's just it it turns out to be that's how you learn how to love yourself. And it's not written in stone. It's just it turns out to be that way. Like self-compassion for yourself, giving yourself grace, and loving, like, in relationships. Respect for yourself is loving yourself. This self-discipline is loving yourself. Respecting others, boundaries, setting boundaries is loving yourself. And respecting other people's boundaries is showing love for them. And connection, an honest, authentic connection to others. And I just want to kind of touch base tonight. I made a really good connections, and it's been a long time since I was able to meet others that are on the same journey, I guess, understanding, and have actually done the work in, I don't know, I don't like to say recovery either, but have done the work in themselves, bettered themselves, overcame themselves, and healed themselves to live a better life. And it's just amazing. It's amazing. And I'm just so grateful and humbled to have met some good people tonight. So I just wanted to say that I feel very inspired and motivated. And so love and community, lifting others up, lifting others up even when the systems try and tear us down. Like tonight somebody voiced their their dream of wanting to go to school and provide a service to the community. And normally as recovering individuals from substance use, we have a hard time with stigma. And a lot of people, well, I don't want to say that either, but we have to overcome a lot of things to build that trust back in the community, and overcome a lot of hurdles, and to be there for one another, to support one another as we go forward together on our journeys is powerful. It's empowering to, and that's how we show love for one another, is showing up for one another. Like I could have stayed home tonight and said, nah, I'm not going to go nowhere, stayed in my little comfortable zone, comfortable spot, and made up these excuses as to why I didn't need to go anywhere. But I was like, nope, I gotta go. And I'm glad I showed up, because I made connections with people, a real authentic connection. And love is, that was a form of showing love for myself and love for my community, showing up. And tonight, showing up here on this podcast, it's still gets a little nerve-wracking, but I feel good after I do it. I feel good about connecting this way with people that understand where I'm coming from, understand my journey, because we share similar experiences and similar goals. And there's a lot of people out there that feel like they're alone, and I'm just trying to bring voice, heal louder in our community, in the world, to wake others up, not wake them up, but to show them that it's possible. Just like tonight, somebody showed me it was possible to attain my dream. And I could just cry. That's how good it feels. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. It's not weakness. All these things, all these feelings is not weakness. It's empowering ourselves. Because for so long, using and numbing myself and acting tough and acting like things didn't bother me, all the things would still be there buried, not dealing with it, unresolved issues. And then when I was drinking, and they would come out sideways, and I'd be angry and fighting while I was drinking. And now I'm comfortable with crying. I'm comfortable with feeling sad. I'm comfortable with saying I'm hurt. And because once I do that, it releases it, and I could move on. I let go. That's how I let go. And it's awesome. It's such a good feeling to be able to deal with things, deal with adversity, knowing that I have the tools to handle them. Not perfectly, but at least process them and be proud of myself, knowing that I don't need to run for myself anymore. I was running for my trying to run for myself my whole life, and now to be able to stand still in my own skin and confidently say, I know who I am, I know who I'm becoming, who I want to become, and that's true pride. It's not false pride, and there's a difference in that. And sometimes it gets a little I had a hard time thinking that loving myself was selfish, but now it's self-love is self-care. But so tonight's episode was on love. The the principle of love. I don't want to say principle either, but it's the teachings, the 7 grandfather teachings, and how I apply those to my life. And humility teaches me how to love myself and others and to give love. So tomorrow night, I think what the next one would be let's see, truth. I think tomorrow night will be truth. So join me tomorrow night as I flow into the truth, principle of truth, or the teaching of truth, and how I apply that to my life, being honest and truthful, authentic with myself in order to change those behaviors I didn't like about myself, and being okay to love myself with my imperfections. I'm imperfect. But me gwitch for walking with me. I love all of you so much. Thank you for coming with me on this journey as we grow together and make changes and support one another, uplift one another. Because in a world where it's full of stigma and judgment, love is revolutionary. We are revolutionaries, and we're changing the world and shining brighter. Shine your light brighter out there. Alrighty, guys. Mwah. Love you so much. Peace, love, 100% respect, and miigwech for walking with me tonight. I appreciate all of you, and I'm grateful for this connection. You guys have a good night. Gigawabamin. That means see you later in Ojibwe. Deuces.